What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 60, and we start today's episode off by seeing that once again transfer talks have broken down between one of our players and another club as well. This time it's not Charlie Austin though, it's Danny Rose instead. Yes, in the last episode, of course, we did accept a bid for our left back from Real Betis, and it looked as though he was on his way to sunny Spain, but Danny Rose says instead he wants to stay here at Watford, he wants to stay at Vicarage Road and be a Watford legend, and I'm okay with that, to be honest, because Danny Rose is a bit different to Charlie Austin. With Austin, he's been on transfer list for a while. I don't have much faith in him. He's a backup striker. He's on 60 grand a week. I don't have much confidence in his ability in the game. But for Danny Rose, he came in the second half of the first season. He's held down a starting left back role since then. And although he's only gone up by one rating because I trained him, he's still a pretty decent player. You know, he puts in solid minutes every time he gets on the pitch. So Danny Rose staying is totally fine with me. Wouldn't have been against selling him, but if he wants to stay, that's okay. And we'll just keep him here instead of looking for a new left back. And also as well, we put a bid for Inaki Williams of Athletic Bilbao, just a straight bid of £5 million, and to my surprise, the Spanish side said, yep, you can take him for £5 million. He's valued at £8.5 million, but he's 23 years old, his contract's up at the end of the year, and therefore, if we want to, we could sign him in January for free, but instead, I thought we'd try and buy him now. Yes, of course, it's £5 million going out of our budget, but because of the injury to Bertrand Traore in the last episode, it prompted me to think maybe we should look for a backup striker whilst Traore is injured. I don't have much faith in Austin. I don't mind playing Dini, Olare or Vidra, but I wouldn't mind a new signing. And Williams coming in, yes, of course, listed as a winger in the game, but can play striker as well. He's got that role listed in his positions, and of course you can see those physicals right there. He looks like an absolute monster. 4-star skills, 3-star weak foot. He'll counteract Balotelli's low work rates with high work rates. And then Inaki Williams coming in for £5 million for me, in my opinion, is a really good deal. Still, we take on Swansea City for the first game of today's episode here away in Wales.
Well, you want width and you want quality in the width, and probably they've got that with this new acquisition.
Well, I think so, and the one player that would be pleased to see him arrive is the centre forward, because I think he can expect better service now from a lad that does swing in good crosses.
And the new signing would be thrown right into the first team for the first and only game of today's episode here, taking on Swansea away in Wales. As you can see, I did play him up top with Mario Balotelli for this game. Ryan Tyler, Loftus-Cheek, and of course Buffal supporting those two up top. Not sure whether he will stay a striker for the duration of his stay here at Watford, but we'll have to wait and see how he does in his first few games. Still, the first chance and the first goal would be scored by the Welsh side as well, just 23 minutes in. The former Spurs man, Gylfi Sigurdsson, opening the scoring for Swansea. And the Icelandic midfielder could not have had an easier goal. I mean, it's a bit of a misfortunate deflection from Joe Davis as the pass comes in and does fall to Sigurdsson, don't get me wrong, but he was given so much time there to take a touch in the area, wind his left foot up and rifle the ball into the top corner. You cannot give a player like Gylfi Sigurdsson that much space in the area there. Still, Swansea 1, Watford 0, and Inaki Williams should have got his debut goal in the 30th minute as well. He was sent through after a great through ball by Ruben Loftus-Cheek, goes through one-on-one, but Fabianski makes the save, and the former Arsenal goalkeeper does keep it at 1-0, but not for very long though, because just 3 minutes after that great save by the Polish goalkeeper, we would take the lead through Sofian Buffal. You've already seen 2 nice goals already this season, one through Loftus-Cheek against City, one through Lloyd Isgrove against Fleetwood Town, and this goal is up there as well for another contender for goal of the season. Sofian Buffal, who got 2 goal of the season contenders in the last season, scores an absolutely audacious acrobatic kick there. He chests it down, takes his time, realises that no Swansea player is in the vicinity, and just rifles the ball past Lukas Fabianski with a lovely acrobatic kick. Wouldn't call it a bicycle kick, but either way, a great finish by Buffal for his first of the season, and it's Swansea 1, Watford 1. So what a lovely goal there, and the Moroccan does make sure we are back on level terms in the first half. Riedewald got very lucky here though in the 40th minute. I tried to play this ball through to Marco Ryan Tallinn, instead it switched to Danny Rose. Thankfully though, Jack Butler makes a fantastic save at his near post and keeps it at 1-1. So he had a great game against Spurs in the last episode, and he makes a really good save there to keep it at 1-1. Then the 45th minute on the stroke of half time, Marco Ryan Tallinn gets on the ball for us here and gives it to Danny Rose, our left back, deciding to stay here at Vicarage Road, and gets sent down the left hand side here. Danny Rose down the left hand side, takes around Ashley Williams with the step over, plays it back to Ryan Tallinn, back inside to Rose. Lovely passing between the team here. Rose back to Ryan Tallinn once again, and Marco goes very close there, but the shot goes just wide, the post and behind for a goal kick. As you can see at half-time, though, Swansea were dominating the possession, but I thought it was a pretty balanced game in the first half. I thought we were playing pretty well and just as good as Swansea, and that was actually how the game would finish as well. In the second half, nothing really happened, in all honesty. It was a really poor second half, and the game did sort of peter out a little bit. Swansea did have a couple of half chances in the second half, as did we have one or two, I can remember too, but to be honest, all the action fell in the first half, really. All the chances you needed to see anyway, including the 2 goals as well, one for Sigurdsson and one for Boufal. So we dropped points for the first time in the league. That's a draw there. 3 wins and a draw, though, for our first 4 league games. Not going to say no to that. Of course, it is now 2 games without a win on the back of that loss to Fleetwood Town, but either way, still not fussed about it. We'll take the draw. Swansea, not always an easy place to go. I'm just glad to know it's not 2 defeats on the trot. Still following out, we put in a couple new bids for a couple new players. The first one was Quincy Promes of Spartak Moscow, the Dutch winger who is 83 overall and 25 years old. Wouldn't mind getting hold of this guy. We've still got quite a bit of money left over despite the signing of Inaki Williams. Wouldn't mind another offensive option up top. We play with an offensive 5 right now, or attacking 5 I should say. I'd like as much versatility as possible and as many options to choose between as well. We've been a bid for Promes and also Conor Playanka of Sevilla. I would love to get hold of this guy. 84 overall, 27 years old. The Ukrainian, valued at £24 million. We put in a bid of £17 million plus Charlie Austin, and we wait and see what those clubs say. Also, following that, the ball come to us and put Jack Butland on the transfer list, as we haven't offered him a new contract yet. That's a bit of a shame. I would have to sort that out as soon as possible, as I really do rate Butland and I want him to be our number 1 for many years to come. And also Sevilla and Spartak Moscow unsurprisingly came to us and said they weren't interested in Leyoun or Austin. We're not really interested in them either, to be honest, and that's a bit of a shame, as it doesn't look like we're going to get hold of those players, as we can't swap out the ones that we currently have right now to raise a bit more money to make the bids look a little bit better. Also, Lewis Heinold, one of our random Canadian left backs, is on his way to Accrington Stanley for a year as well, or possibly 2 years, I think. And also a transfer came in for Miguel Leyoun on transfer deadline day as well. So we start deadline day off by selling our joint oldest player at 29 years old. Leyoun's not a bad left back, 75 overall, but we've got Rose, we've got Galloway, we've got like 6 Canadian left backs as well. We don't need Miguel Leyoun. He's going to go, and that's totally fine with me. So he goes to Villa Park, and as you can see, following out a bid came in for Charlie Austin. It was the Spanish side Rayo Vallecano who put in a bid of £7.5 million. The most we've seen a club match a counter offer for Charlie Austin is £13 million. I couldn't see Rayo Vallecano doing that, so I just said give us £10 million, and we'll say that's totally fine. But as you'll see, Rayo Vallecano came back to us and said, actually, no, we're not really desperate for him, so we'll just offer you £7.5 million. That's under his valuation by $1 million, but as you can see, there was no hesitation for me. I just said, yes, you can take him for £7.5 million, because I didn't think he'd want to relocate again. But as you can see, 3's not the lucky number, 3's not the magic number, it's 4 now, because at the 4th time of asking, Charlie Austin finally decides he's on his way out of Watford, and he's going to leave the club. So Watford, can they live without Charlie Austin? Most certainly yes. Austin's gone to Rayo Vallecano for £7.5 million, and that gives us a bit more money to work with too. So I decided with just a few hours to go in transfer deadline day, I'd renew my interest in the Sevilla winger Conor Playanka. I put in a straight bid of £26 million, see what Sevilla would say, and as you can see, they said yes. Sevilla came back to us and said £26 million is enough for us to offer a contract to Conor Playanka, the Ukrainian winger. So this could be a fantastic deal for us, selling Charlie Austin, yes, for £1 million under his valuation, but freeing up the space to be able to afford Conor Playanka, who would be a massive step up for us in terms of quality. We offer him a contract, but there was only 4 hours to go in deadline day, so the race was on. The race against the clock had started. Would we be able to wrap up the Conor Playanka deal before the transfer window slams shut? As you can see, Alaba goes to City there for £40.5 million. How about that? I wonder who would recommend David Alaba going to Manchester City in any kind of videos on YouTube. Maybe me. But anyway, as you can see, following that, Conor Playanka declines the contract to come to Watford. He says he wants to stay at Sevilla. He doesn't feel the move suits him. So we say, okay, fine, take an extra 10 grand a week then, Conor Playanka. See what you say about that. Give him crucial first team player status. See what he has to say about that. 3 hours to go in deadline day. Is Conor Playanka going to come in? It was a race against the clock. Could we complete the signing as Manchester United complete the signing of Frank Ribery? How about this? You've got to love these deadline day deals, don't you? They're always so exciting, aren't they, in FIFA? FIFA when you see really big moves getting made between big clubs for big name players. Still 3 hours to go in deadline day. Could we wrap up the signing of Conor Plianka? Well, once again, as you can see, he says no, he doesn't want to come to Watford. And as if this wasn't dramatic enough on its own merit, the German Giants then came in for Conor Plianka themselves with 2 hours to go and put in a bid of £35 million, a whole £9 million more than what we were prepared to offer, flexing their muscle. So we were trying to outstrength Bayern Munich and convince Conor Plianka to come to Hertfordshire instead of Munich instead, come to Vicarage Road instead of the Allianz Arena. We put in a new bid for Conor Plianka, a new contract I should say, 130 grand a week, 4-year deal, crucial first team player status, 5% goal bonus as well, and with 2 hours to go, the decision was there. Was Conor Plianka going to go to Bayern Munich? Was he going to come to Watford? Or was he going to stay at Sevilla instead? He had 3 clubs to choose between. With 1 hour to go, the email was in our inbox. What had happened? What had Conor Plianka decided? He decided to come to Vicarage Road with 1 hour to go. Conor Plianka agrees to join Watford for £26 million. Our new record signing, our new highest earner on 130 grand a week for £26 million. Conor Plianka, the Ukrainian, is on his way to Vicarage Road. He turns down the chance to go to Bayern. He doesn't want to stay at Sevilla. He believes in the Watford dream. Conor Plianka wants to help us win Premier League titles and Champions League titles as well. It's our biggest signing. It's our biggest earner. 84 overall, 27 years old, £26 million was the cost, but as you can see by his stats right there, I think he'll be worth every single penny. So without doubt, one of the most dramatic transfer deadline days I have ever been involved in. Selling on a player who had previously said on 3 separate occasions he didn't want to leave the club, then ends up going to Rayo Vallecano, who probably would have been considered one of the weaker sides out of the ones that were coming in for him. Austin then leaves the club, and then of course signing Conor Plianka as well for basically all of our budget on the final hour of deadline day, battling off Bayern Munich, who put in a bit of £9 million more than what we were prepared to pay for him. An unbelievable transfer deadline day. So many big things going on across the world as well, with David Alaba and Mesut Ozil and Frank Ribery going to new clubs too. But of course the main headline deal was what happened at Vicarage Road. Watford completing the signing of Conor Plianka for £26 million, takes our summer spending up to £59.6 million. We got just under £80 million for our players as well, but I'm totally fine with the money we spend. I think Conor Plianka, just like Schneiderlin, just like Loftus-Cheek, just like Inaki Williams, is going to be a really, really good signing for us. I'm so glad we got our man, and Conor Plianka does come in for £26 million. How about that for drama? How about that for excitement? But that is going to be the episode, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave likes. It's much appreciated. It really does help my channel out, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.